all other gaming sites are full of.
Sound and fury, ultimately signifying nothing. None have survived the ungrateful monkeys.
Hello fellow gamers, mostly because I'm focusing on Resident Evil right now. Gotta get everything done before Friday the 13th and Resident Evil 5 coming out. I'm kind of being more sporadic about releasing video reviews. Don't worry though, because my written reviews on original-gamer.com will still be coming with regularity. It's just getting around to actually doing video reviews. I don't see myself probably doing more than one a week, just right now. I imagine once I get through the excellence that Resident Evil 5 will be, I'll probably be posting more of these up, so look forward to them. Anyway, this video review is on Castle Crashers. Castle Crashers is a 2008 side-scrolling beat-em-up in the vein of classics such as Guardian Heroes and Golden Axe. It was developed by Behemoth, the team responsible for the Contra-inspired Alien Hominin, which was released on the GameCube. I think there was a version for the Game Boy Advance, and a few other things. I haven't really played the game, but I want to. Anyway, this game was first made available on Xbox Live Marketplace on August 26, 2008. Along with Braid and others like Mega Man 9, Castle Crashers has made the marketplace a force for original downloadable games. But aside from its landmarks, how well does this game actually capture the spirit of Golden Axe and similar games like the superlative Streets of Rage 2, which I don't think that game will ever be topped. It's just amazing in every way. I mean, I don't think I'd ever give a game a perfect score, but that's one of them that would be very, very close. Let's move on to storyline. The story in Castle Crashers is not really present. It is more a mismatch of the cliches of the genre, like fighting evil and wrestling light, that I will leave you to discover. For instance, this game brings new meaning to catfish. Graphics are 2D, therefore they suck and are old. Next. Just kidding about the graphics there. Or am I? Seriously though, Castle Crashers' presentation is visually colorful and full of those minute details that you all too often see only in 2D games. There's a big difference between making graphics look good, like they do in games like Fallout 3, big 3D extravaganzas, and the graphics actually being expressive. I'm sure I'm a minority in this, but I will say, with a serious face, that Castle Crashers' graphics are more expressive than, say, graphics in Fallout 3, maybe even games like Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 is nice and shiny, but kind of unemotional at the same time. I'm going on too much. Anyway, Castle Crashers. The game has a real hand-drawn style to it, with the cel-shaded look of Hominin retained. While the individual character knights do look all similar, as well as most of the enemies being only a few different types of sprites, you know, the thieves, the knights, the archers, stuff like that. All this really works well in the game's favor, as gamers are fully aware of what the creators were trying to do with this game. Remember, not everything is about pixel-shaded bump mapping. Hell, I don't even know or care if that is considered new in graphics anymore. Castle Crashers' music mostly sounds like filler. There are some highlight pieces like the Barbarian War stage and some of the boss battles. I'll tell you one thing though, I really dislike the desert theme where you have to fight about 10,000 scorpions over and over again. It's a dull piece and it's just exacerbated by the combat. It's just like, oh, ugh, I just want it to end. Sound effects are minimal in Castle Crashers, but this works in the game's favor. Much as with Link constantly yelling at every swing of his sword, not every action needs a sound effect. I do not miss such a thing not being present in Castle Crashers. Considering how your attacks are kind of simplistic, if they always went like, yeah, with every hit, oh, that would get annoying after time. Gameplay is in the classic beat-em-up style. Kill all enemies on the screen, wait for the big disembodied hand to point you the way, most of the time right, sometimes less for variety, and then kill some more enemies. Rinse and repeat. This incredibly simplistic gameplay is probably one of the best examples of how a game can thrive despite simplicity. On the surface, one may think that gameplays such as Castle Crashers would get tiresome quickly, as in many of the lesser titles in the genre, like Sonic Blast Man I'm not that much of a fan of, or, oh I know, a better example, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game on the NES. It's not that it's a bad game, but the action, it just feels, it's just as simplistic, the gameplay, but it doesn't have that je ne sais quoi to make it as enjoyable as a game like Castle Crashers. But this is not the case. While you have few attack options and some magic, one feels compelled to continue because of the simplicity, not in spite of it. In the best beat-em-ups, the player is so absorbed into the experience, they never notice this simplicity, like in Streets of Rage 2. A complaint now. I really do not see the point of the animal companions. Most of them do not do much, even when the descriptions say that they should, like Bitey Bat. The system is not a bad idea, it just should have copied Symphony of the Night's familiars, and everything would have been better off, especially for multiplayer havoc. Speaking of multiplayer, the game definitely plays best in that mode. I steadily played the game by myself ever since I downloaded it the first time, but with friends, we once played for 5 hours straight. A great time and definitely the best way to play this game if you have the option. Of course, there's, playing it online, but I would definitely say playing it with 3 friends close, like right in the same room or alternating with other people. That's definitely the highlight. One of my friends, Ian, loved using the Grey Knight's magic and blanketing the screen with about 15 arrows each casting. That's all he put points into. It gave me memories of the Ghost from StarCraft, because he were like, bring down the thunder. It's like whenever he would call for a nuke, that's what it felt like. When it comes to challenge is kind of hard to gauge in this game because you can save often. You can also buy potions and enemies drop plenty of food to heal you. Lastly, your teammates can revive you if they are fleet of foot. When you die, that is. And of course, because of the leveling system, the leveling up system, it follows the old standard. If you find yourself having problems, just grind a bit and you'll have an easier time. It's true in almost every RPG there is, and it's no exception in this game. Challenge is present in the game's bosses. Many of them are like mini puzzles, the player having to figure out their weak point or doing certain actions to make them vulnerable to damage. This is a clever touch that was probably implemented due to the many ways of keeping players alive. Like if it was just a matter of hacking and slashing at them, especially with 4 players, they'd just go down way too quickly. It's kind of like in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original arcade game, the bosses have unfair attacks. Like they can literally hit like 2 or 3 turtles at the same time, or they have priority over all their attacks because it's designed to take your money. Because honestly, if the principles of 4 against 1 often applied, the game would be way too easy. So it's kind of the same thing in Castle Crashers. The enemies have added challenge to them in order to equalize the possibility that they're fighting against more than one character. On to replay value. Replay value is probably the most I've ever seen for a game in this genre, the beat-em-up genre. There are lots of unlockable characters to try out, and they all have different abilities. There's also some downloadable content worth checking out, with another pack coming out soon according to creators. Definitely a sweet thing. Overall, Castle Crashers is a wonderful entry in the beat-em-up genre, and hopefully the first of many original creations to be featured on Xbox Live or anywhere, I don't care. Just make more of them. It also bodes well for the downloadable game genre, as it is a very well-made game full of personal touches and obvious devotion. It is a great game to play by yourself and king on multiplayer, both online and off. Hopefully you can find enough people to play 4 players with, or to play a 4-player game with. The action really gets frantic when playing like this. So, honestly, this game, it's not just good, but I'd say it's good for people who just like games. You don't even have to have ever played a beat-em-up in your life to enjoy this because of its simplicity. And honestly, if you haven't played any beat-em-ups, get it off your ass and go do it. Streets of Rage 2, Golden Axe, Final Fight, there's so many good ones that hold up just as well today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.